Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Purpose Forever.
Forever.
So we appreciate you guys being here, rocking with us. My chair is on its last leg, literally. So make sure you share.
You
Sharing
know
is
how
caring.
I paid a lot of money for that chair.
That's the same thing your son said when he came in
Right.
here.
Mommy paid a lot of money for that
He said
chair.
my expensive chair.
Right. Okay.
So, um, remember, well, all right, we'll be right back. After this, we just want to give you a quick word. And here we go. All right, welcome back. Um, so I beat you to it.
Yeah, obviously.
We're talking about do we listen or do we hear?
Right.
And mainly, as far as when it comes to our interaction with our spouse and how we receive what they say, from their heart or any struggles that they're having. So, what I wanted to kind of toss it to Sam and just ask her, like, what is your definition or difference between listening and hearing?
Okay, so here's the thing. First and foremost, I know when we think about communication, we always think about talking, but there are several different um, nonverbal ways of communicating, and listening is one of them. So listening is just as if not more important than talking sometimes. Not just hearing. So, I used to ask him was he listening to me, and he would say, "I hear you," and my response would be, "I know you hear me because you have ears, but are you listening to me?" So, um, we hear stuff all the time. We hear sounds. We hear the kids in the other room. Sometimes we can hear stuff outside, even when we're not listening to it. So I can hear your voice when I'm watching TV. I can hear your voice when I'm on the phone, but I'm not really focused in on what you're saying, how you're saying it, the inflections in your voice, your tone. I'm not concentrating on that.
Right.
So I hear you, but I'm not listening to you.
Right.
So listening, um, just my random, probably ghetto definition, is just being focused in on or tuned in to um, who's ever speaking at the time. Like to me, that's listening. That's like being intent on understanding or comprehending what you're saying. That's to me, that's when you're listening. When you're intent on understanding what I'm saying, that is listening. You're always going to hear me unless you go deaf. You're going to hear my voice, but are you really listening to my words? Are you listening to my tone? Are you listening for the dramatic pauses or whatever's going on? Listening is a little different. Listening is intentional. Listening shows to me that you're interested in what I'm saying, as opposed to just kind of hearing something when you watch the TV, like, wait, what you say?
Right.
Because you weren't listening. You hear me,
Right.
but you weren't listening, which is why I need to repeat it. Why is that important? And I know I'm answering questions he didn't ask, but yeah.
Why is it important?
But it's important that we listen and understand each other. Um, sometimes it may save you from a disagreement if you're actually listening to what I'm saying instead of just hearing. When I listen, I'm not necessarily waiting for the pause so I can respond. I'm listening so I can understand. There's a difference with that. Sometimes people listen just so, all right, you stopped it, it's my turn. I'm it. Like, no. The listening is, listen to understand. Listen to get comprehension. Sometimes you just listening to somebody can relieve all their stress. He knows sometimes I get upset and I'm mad. And I can come wherever he is and I'm just, blah, 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 blah. I just let it out. And he'll just listen to me most of the time. Sometimes he just hears me. And then I be madder. But, when he listens to me, sometimes he doesn't have to say anything. He doesn't have to respond. I just need him to hear and listen to what I'm saying. I just need him to try to understand where I am in that moment. And that's what's important to me more times than not. That you understand where I am in this moment, what I'm feeling, how I'm feeling. I need to feel like you're concerned about that.
Do you feel like it's hard to listen or really take it in if I don't relate? I think one of the rifts that happen in relationship, even happen in ours, like something bothers you but doesn't bother me.
Right.
And don't be the fix all the time. Right.
Yeah, just here. Here's the thing, like I don't need him. Okay, so Sean is on here. So say like one day, I don't know, at church, Sean does something that I don't like. When I come to him and say, Sean did this to me today, and something. Like you said, Sean, I don't need him to fix it. I don't need him to defend Sean. I don't need him to even be on my side like, what? Sean did what? I'm going to get him. Like, I don't need that. I just need you to hear what I'm saying about what he did. And then, that's kind of what I need. I don't always need, a defense, but you have to listen to what I'm saying to understand. So, I guess it can be more difficult, maybe for some people, to listen to what's being said, like you said, if you can't relate. Because he'll probably be like, Sean never snaps at nobody.
Right.
Like, baby, maybe you misunderstood. Like, that's the worst thing you can do. Just listen.
Yeah.
Listening is so important. Like I said, so I guess if it's something that you can't relate to, I guess it could be harder to listen, but
This is one of the conversations tonight on the gas.
But I think for everybody it's different. Like sometimes he'll be talking about something and it's something I'm not interested in.
Right.
And so what I'll do, let me stop the TV, let me pause it, so that I can hear what you're saying. Right. Not because I'm interested, but because I feel like it's important. Because when I come to him, I need that same energy. Right. I try to treat him how I want him to treat me. So I don't like documentaries, and sometimes he can go on and on and on about a documentary he's seen. And sometimes I'm listening and I'm like, okay, and what happened? But that don't make sense. Like, I'll try to engage somewhat to just let him know I'm listening, but is that like on the top of my list? Absolutely not. But that's what love and marriage is. It's not always, because it's important to you, it's important to me. No. Right. Because it's important to you and you're important to me, I'm going to listen to it. Yes. It's not important to me. I don't care that you like documentaries. I don't. But I care about how you feel. Right. And I don't want you, I never want him to feel like, like he's not important. Yeah, the documentary is not important to me, but it's important for me to listen to him. Right. I think we could cut down a lot of arguments if we listened. Yeah. Instead of always talking, because sometimes we just go straight for the gusto. Right. She fussing, you fussing, and nobody's listening to the other. And a lot of times, I know, like sometimes with us, we going at it, and I'm like, wait, but you're saying exactly what I said.
Right.
And you kind of have to slow it down. Like, we're not listening to each
Exactly.
other
We're saying the same
because
thing.
we're saying the same thing.
Right.
So why are we fighting?
Yeah.
And we're saying the same thing. But if you don't take the time to listen, you'll be having a fight that you didn't sign up for, you don't want to be a part of, but you find yourself stuck in because you were never listening.
Yeah. I think that's the main part. Just being able to respond to what's being said, but to listen to how it's being said.
Right.
And your level of interest. Because it's even if you might not be interested in or may not even totally see their side or see the point, like, cause there are things like that wouldn't bother me, but I gotta understand that she's not me, and listen intently, like I feel bad that that hurt your feelings, and you try to, either console and be there, and sometimes you might get asked for a solution or you might get asked something, but I realize, over these years that you just listen. Sometimes they just want to vent. Like, she just want to vent. I think that's the biggest one. Just learning. I just gotta say it. I just gotta get it out loud. I'm gonna take care of it, but I just need to say it out loud because it's annoyed me.
Right.
Sean might have been having a bad day, but it annoyed me. He pushed me to the edge today. So I think it's having that relationship where you at least are willing to just listen, and respond accordingly. Like I said, not to defend, not to fix. I just need to vent. I'm gonna fix it myself. I already got, and 9 times out of 10, some solutions already been found, and we already fixed it. It just annoyed me today. There was a post. I'm in the group, Black Husbands group, and some dudes was talking about how the woman always just yapping about work, and
Yapping is it?
yeah, yapping about work. And this is why they say it, yapping about work and who's annoying them on their nerves, and some guys are just like they don't want to hear it, but I'm like, this is big on their plate, like it's on their mind.
I spend 8 hours a day.
Right, I'm here at this place, and I need to get it out. I need someone that loves me, that will at least listen to what I have to say, so I can just get it out. Because sometimes they go to work and they may be even complaining. No one's listening to them, and now it's building up. And if they come home and no one's listening there, it gets worse, because now they're going to sleep with this nonsense on their brain because they got to go back to work with it. So I think, as a...
So I get me a work husband.
As a,
I think that's how those relationships start.
Right, you're right.
You get a work husband.
Right.
I listen. I've never had one of those things,
Right.
but I've heard the term a lot. You know, I work for
Right.
work husband. That's because you're not interested
Right.
in whatever they got going on at work. Baby, I don't want to hear it.
Right.
I don't know her. I don't know him. And so now they're talking to somebody else.
Right.
They're sharing with somebody else. And that, and we could say, well, I don't care if you could talk to her without whatever, but what happens when you're not available for the uninteresting parts or the parts that are no fun or the parts that are a lot of work, when you're not interested, there's always somebody. I don't care if your husband got 1 eye, 2 teeth, and 2 toes on his left foot.
Right.
There is somebody somewhere that will get him the rest of his teeth, an eye patch, and some socks, and be happy with him.
Right.
There's always somebody waiting when you're not available for, for the things your spouse needs. And listening is one of them. Whatever the topic is, whatever the frustration is, listening is important. Like that, that's a form of intimacy. Being able to listen to your struggles, your frustrations, your aggravations, things that make you happy, sad, whatever it is, that is a form of intimacy. The way you communicate with each other, listening.
Right, definitely. It definitely makes a difference. So today we just kind of wanted to tap into just if you know being married or even just in a relationship, learning to um, be what they say active listener, listen and just respond like I said accordingly, you know, and knowing and when your spouse comes home talk about work because if you really think about it, if you are a full time employee and God forbid you're a manager on salary, you spend most of your life at this job.
Right.
You spend
Absolutely.
a lot of time in the building or doing whatever on the field. You out a lot. Um, so that and honestly, like most things happen go wrong because if I'm out a lot, then I'm out with someone else telling them my issue. I got more time to tell them than I got to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if you're not a listening ear, all I'm processing it, waiting to go back to work to talk to whoever with the work wife. So yeah, definitely when they come, you know, your spouse come home, be a willing listener, and like I said, respond accordingly. They don't generally it's work. They ain't trying to keep. They don't want you to fix it because you don't work there. I have to go through the proper channels. I got to deal with this. You coming in is gonna get me fired. So, not that you handling this. Most cases, you know, you're gonna get me fired. You know, so it just takes you really just listening and responding. Sometimes she just want to say it. You give her a hug, tell her it's gonna be okay, and she can go to sleep. She can get through it. Like she can get it out of her
I
head.
know I can.
Right? Yeah.
Listen, I could be frustrated on 1,000. And he go over his eyes long enough for me to get it out.
Yeah.
Like once I get that last sentence out, now he might be wide awake, but I'm like, ooh, all right. And I'm good. I feel so much better. Even though he didn't fix anything, he didn't offer any advice, he just listened to me. You know, you don't realize how much power there is in just listening to your spouse. It's very unburdening. I know I'm making my own words, but they're able to unburden themselves.
Right.
Because you're a safe place to land.
Right.
You know, all day it's ripping, it's running or whatever, and I come home to you and I need you to be home plate.
Right.
This is home plate.
Right. All
Right.
right.
When
Right.
it's home plate, you know, like if you ever played softball and you know you racing all around the bases, first, second, you know, when you leave third, it's like I'm making home. When you hit that home plate, it's like you know, all the stress, all that melts away because you made it. You're safe, and kind of that's what we have to be for our spouses. That safe place, that listening ear, that I don't know, that space of non-judgment,
Right.
where you could just let it out and be yourselves.
Definitely. So, hopefully we impacted you a little bit.
Yeah,
Just
we're
kinda
sorry.
short.
We're not gonna be on long tonight because I think I have a stomach virus
Yeah.
and my tum is hurting. But we wanted to make sure that we come on and say something because we already had it scheduled,
Right.
and we try very hard to be consistent
Yes.
with you guys as much as scheduling and time allows. So yes, listening is very important. Just like him listening to me when I say my tum hurt and not
Right.
trying to force me to do a whole hour.
Right.
So this is very important too.
Yes.
It's very helpful that he is willing to show it live so
It's
that I can go lay down.
It's all good. All right. So, thank you, Dr. Rollins.
Thank you, Dr. Rollins.
All right. So we appreciate you guys for being here, rocking with us. Another edition of Purpose for Forever. Make sure you check us out each week, Monday at 8 p.m.
Oh yeah, and maybe you guys, I hope you guys have been following the challenges.
Yes.
We're gonna post a few more clips of, did you post ours?
Yes. Still walking?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
We're gonna try to post the videos and show you other couples engaging. Maybe it'll inspire you to come on and engage in some of the challenges. As you'll see from the video, some people are creative and they turn the challenge into something that works for them, and that's fine.
Yeah, that is
Because
fine.
every relationship is different.
Yeah.
So maybe you don't have the time or the schedule or the capacity to do the actual challenge, but you mix a little bit.
Yeah.
We're fine with that. Remix, send us the video. Maybe you'll show us a better way. But it'll be great, and we're gonna be continuously posting the videos for the things that's being done to try to keep you guys engaged, and hopefully you'll see something that inspires you to be a part.
Indeed.
So, as always,
Love intentionally
love unconditionally.
and love on purpose. Hold on, I was just gonna say join our community.
I'm
Join
sorry,
the
I'm
challenge.
missing a nail.
Text
Oh, see what happened.
P4F to 84576. That's P, the number 4, F to 84576.
All right.
All right, guys.
I'm
We'll
having
see you
all
next
sorts
week.
of bad
It's
days.
all right. It's all right.